Hello everyone, it's Mr. Kablan here again, and we're now going to look at how we can come up with the equation of the line after we determine the slope and how we find what's called the y-intercept. Okay, so this is now going to get you warmed up to what we'll be seeing for the remainder of the chapter in terms of how we can come up with the equation of a line after we solve for those two things. As I said before, the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so what's important here is that any equation of a line or any linear relation is given in the form of y equals mx plus b. Again, this is something that you were introduced to you that was introduced to you back in grade 9. Okay, and you spent a lot of time on it. But what we're going to do in this one here again is we're actually going to look at this in a little bit more detail in grade 10. And what we're going to do is, as we progressively go through these chapters, we're going to learn different ways that we can solve, how we can come up with the equation of a line in the form of y equals mx plus b using a bunch of different techniques here. All right, so for today, what we're going to do here is that we just need to understand that the two letters here, respectively the m and the b, okay, represent two very important things when we're looking at the equation of a line. So m represents the slope of the line, which we're going to learn how to calculate in this lesson using rise over run, which we saw in the previous lesson. And then for part b here, this is what's called the y-intercept. Now what the y-intercept is, it's where the line touches the y-axis. And we're just going to look at the line and see where it does touch the y-axis there. Okay, and once you find the m to b, okay, then that will then give us the equation of the line in the form of y equals mx plus b. All right. So again, when we look at equation of lines over here, okay, what we have here is a line that's going up to the right, and we have 2 points here, which is 4, 8, and 8, 11. And the way we're going to do that here, again, is we're going to use a rate triangle to find the slope of the line. So step number 1, it says find the slope of the line. So the way we do that is we're going to connect those two dots there with a rate triangle, as so. And from there, we're just going to count. So starting off with the rise here, if you take a look at the top dot, if you carefully count the number of boxes from the top dot there to the corner of the triangle, there's going to be 3 boxes. Okay, and then when we look at the run there from the left dot, and we count the number of boxes, that will be the run, and we will get 4. Now you notice that what we have here is a rise of 3 and a run of 4, and that's going to be pretty much it for the slope. Now there's nothing else you can do with that slope. Okay, you will leave that as a fraction because this is already as a fraction in lowest terms. Okay, and whatever you do, unless you, of course you're told to do so, do not represent a slope as a decimal because that's going to give us a little problems in a future lesson. Okay, so keep it as a fraction in lowest terms. So that's step number 1. Now, step number 2 is we're going to find the y-intercept. And remember what the y-intercept is. It's where the line touches the y-axis. So if you look at the y-axis, which is the axis going up and down, you notice that this line touches the number 5 here. So that's going to be our b value. All right. So step 1, again, you find the slope using rise over run. Step 2, use your eyes to determine where the y-intercept is. Just look at where it touches the y-axis. And last but not least, the grand finale, you're just going to now replace the m to b into the equation y equals mx plus b. Now, if you take a look at what I'm going to do next here, I like to use colors and boxes. All we're going to do here is we're going to replace the m here for the m in the equation. And the b here, that's going to replace this b over here. So the equation of the line that you see on the screen there, as well as in your notes, that's going to be y equals 3 over 4x plus 5. Okay, that's it. So again, you've calculated the slope by using rise over run, and then you just have to find the y-intercept simply just by looking at where the line touches the y-axis. All right. Okay, so we're going to do another one here, and we're going to approach it the exact same way. Think of this as a recipe. Okay, notice that for the next example, we're going to do the exact same 3 steps, and you're going to see as we go through this particular chapter is that for anytime you're asked to find the equation of a line in the form of y equals mx plus b, okay, you will be following these exact same 3 steps with an increasing level of difficulty as we go along in this course. All right, so if you take a look at the next example, this is part B, same type of deal. Now you notice that what we have here is a line that's falling down to the right. So using rise over run, before we even take a look at the numbers, okay, remember that since this line is falling down to the right, okay, we have a line that's going to be negative. So our final answer for the slope is always going to have a minus sign in front. All right, so let's draw a right triangle beneath those 2 points there, like so. So starting off the rise there, if I count the number of boxes from that top left point there, so if I count the number of boxes as I go down, what I have there are 12 boxes. Okay, and then for the run from the bottom right-hand corner, if I count the number of boxes from that dot to the corner of the triangle, that's going to give me 3. So what we have here is a rise of 12 and a run of 3, and don't forget that little minus sign that's in front. Okay, now remember that and I'm going to keep repeating this. I'm going to repeat this over and over again. Anytime you see a line that is falling down to the right, it's always going to be a negative slope. Okay, and then when I punch in negative 12, okay, fraction key 3, that will reduce to negative 4. All right, and again, just as a reminder, this is a negative slope. All right, so step number 2, okay, we're going to see where this line touches the y-axis. So if you look at the y-axis here, which is the axis going up and down, okay, you notice it touches the y-axis at 9, so that's our b value. So let's wrap things up here for step number 3. Okay, we're now going to replace the m here with a negative 4 and the b here with a 9. So the equation of that line that you see on the screen as well as your notes is going to be y equals negative 4x plus 9. All right, so before we wrap things up here, again, those are the exact same 3 steps that we saw in the previous example. So again, for this particular section, calculate the slope using rise over run. Okay, don't forget any lines that are falling down to the right, like this example, are always going to be negative. Okay, and then see where the line touches the y-axis to find the y-intercept. And then once you have those 2 numbers, the m and the b, replace it into the equation y equals mx plus b. All right, so that wraps things up there. So continue working on your workbook. Again, if you have the textbook in front of you, you can work on those questions as well. All right, and I will see you in the next lesson.